What's going on, everyone? I was bored and I thought, well, maybe it's not too late to go. Maybe it's not too late to stream. So that is what I'm doing. I don't know if people will join. We'll see. Tomorrow night, next episode of Voting On will be recorded. It will probably not be uploaded tomorrow night, but I will get it recorded tomorrow. And then I don't really, there's not a whole lot to talk about in terms of what's going on in the fandom. Even in like the wider fandom, there's not a lot going on right now. um, I don't really know what to talk about, to be honest with you. Just hoping people would join and we have a little conversation about something. No updates have come out with the Legends Con situation. Of course, I've been trying to keep an eye on that. Keeping an eye on the website, the Legends Con website. I do have my issues with Joe's community and whatnot, but I do support Legends Con. I do not support Legacy Expo or whatever the hell they're calling themselves now. Hello, Jay. How's it going? Hope you're having a good night. Matt's what's it called? His little meetup is in like a month, which is I still need to figure out if I'm going to that damn thing or not. I'm probably not because it's in Dallas and Dallas is just too far from me. And if it was in Fort Worth, I'd probably do it then, but Dallas is just too far from where I live, and to be honest with you, the only person I would want to meet is Matt. I mean, I don't really know anyone else like that that's going to that. So, hello, Iron Inquisitor. How's it going? Good to see that you've been doing pretty good, Jay. But so I'm most likely not going to go. I think if Brendan and Alex were going, I and Marcel too, I would definitely go if they were going. I would just buy an Uber or something. But I don't know. I'm probably not going to go. Even though it is in my neck of the woods, well, sort of, still just way too far from where I live. Plus, it's like an overnight thing, and no. Because, like, yeah, it's pretty much like an overnight thing. It's not like a convention, and I don't want to have to drive like an hour or so. Well, it would be 2 hours because there and back, right? So, you live in Iowa, so you're fair enough. Fair enough. It's just not Legends Con. I mean, and it's not supposed to be. It's not meant to be Legends Con, but the purpose of it, from what Matt has told me and what he's talked about in his videos, is it's meant to be sort of a way for those who bought tickets to Legends Con to still be able to kind of use them. So I understand it, but I mean, Legends Con, it was going to be. It's like 20 minutes from where I lived, where it was going to be at the convention center that they chose, the UTA College Center. I mean, that's only like 20 minutes from where I lived, so it was not even that big a deal. It was pretty much, it was in my neck of the woods. Fair enough, man. But I hope everything works out with Matt, and I hope the whole thing works out. I hope they have a lot of fun. I'm not totally ruling it out yet, but I probably not going to go. So, hello, Outside the Line. How's it going? If you guys weren't here when I said it, but tomorrow night, oh, today now, but tomorrow night I'm going to be filming. We're going to be filming our next episode of Vodayon. It's going to be about Outlander, the comic book story arc from the 1998 Star Wars comics. So, low key, I have not read it yet or finished it yet. I'm going to finish it tomorrow and get that read. So, we're going to get that film tomorrow. And I will always say I'm going to upload it like right after we film it, like edit it. But I mean, I might as well do it. It won't take that long. But this week, it should be out, is what I'm saying. This week. So, next week, I start school back up, which is, yippee. Not looking forward to that. Not because of school, but I'm going to have, I mean, it's weird. Usually people, when they go to school, they work less, but I'm going to have to work the same, if not more, because I don't know if I don't think I told people on here, but I got a car, which is really cool. So I have to pay for that now. It's a really nice car. It's a 2018 Honda Civic. So, and those, the Civics last a long time. So I'm pretty excited to have it. So nice that you're doing well, Calcite. What's up, Scott? Yeah, it's a very nice car, man. I'll send you some pictures of it later on. I mean, you gotta Google it. It's a black 2018, uh, all black uh, Honda Civic hatchback Honda Civic. So I didn't even care as long as the car was in good shape and it, was of a decent brand and decent mileage, all that stuff. I personally didn't really care what I got. So, but yeah, pretty cool. Pretty happy with it. Now I'm just gonna get my license and go from there. Eventually start driving the thing on my own, which will be nice. It'll be very nice. Very nice, actually. I can go places without having to rely on someone. I don't really want to talk about. What should I talk about? What's going on in the fandom? Is there anything? Not really. How much are tags in Texas? Are you talking about like the tags you put on like the front of the car? I don't think I paid for those. I think they're. I don't know how that works, but I don't remember there being like a separate cost. They're probably included with the. I don't. I don't. I don't really remember having to pay for that stuff. It's probably included with the actual cost of the car. I don't exactly know how all that works, but I don't think I had to pay for those. It's piping and popping and flipping and flopping very nicely. Out of tag. How's it going with you? But yeah, but like I said, from what I remember when we were getting the card, don't remember it costing anything. I'm sure it does, but maybe it's different the way we do in Texas. I got a Darth Revan showcase after buying 6 boxes of Carbonite. That's pretty cool. I don't know about the 6 boxes of Carbonite, but the Darth Revan showcase, that's pretty badass, Scott. It's really cool, man. Good, good. Finished writing translating a short story. That's pretty cool. It's really cool. What languages did you translate it? Well, obviously English, but what language was it written in? I think it's obvious that it was English, but people who translate books must have patience of like a saint. Written German, translated into English. That's pretty cool. In Iowa, we pay based on the age of the car. I buy cars that only cost me $50, so 7+ years old. You buy cars that are only you buy cars that are only cost you $50. How does that work? How can a car be only $50? Unless it's like that's your down payment, which is a very low down payment. I don't understand. Maybe it's just different here. Oh, the tags are 50. I was like, the car, $50. That's a steal. It's like paying nothing for it. I don't know. I'm sure I'm gonna have to pay for it somehow. I don't know how that works. I'm such a newbie when it comes to all this. You good, brother? You good? $50 car. That's one hell of a car. Don't go street racing. Why not? Nah, I'm not. I'm not one of those people. I follow traffic laws. I do. I follow the law. So um, I don't. I don't remember, to be honest. I don't think so. But here's the thing. I don't watch a lot of what my friends and people I know are posting. I just don't. I mean, they just don't. I mean, I don't really watch a whole lot of Star Wars YouTube anyway. So I mean, I'll watch one tonight. I mean, you did Acts of War. I just read that recently. I might watch that. That actually sounds pretty cool. Timberlake, Jake Lloyd. I won't. $50 car only runs on a Flintstones power. Exactly. Exactly. I saw Autotech. You did a whole Force Unleashed 2. Oh, it's the original soundtrack. That's pretty cool. It's really cool. Really cool, man. Yeah, the thing is, EU fans do is really really cool. I was, yes. Go to playlist. How user time navigator. Okay, let's look. Oh yeah, for sure. This is easier to look through. It's interesting. Your voice. You did a lot of voice. Most of your dubs are for comics that we're currently reading through right now, which is really really cool. Does anyone want to come on? I might invite some people on if someone wants to come on. Let me know if you're interested. Can't wait to actually get back to doing like actual Clone Wars content instead of having basically play catch up because that's what we're doing right now on Veldeon. So I plan to read of my Star Wars collection either later this year or the beginning of next year. I'm currently making my way through the Hardy Boys case files. Oh, sorry. Oh, that's cool. I'm gonna read like all the books, just the books, or like the comics and everything else too. Yeah, eventually, me and Titus. Most of it for me would be a reread, but it would be his first time for him. We're gonna make our way through the New Republic era. We'll probably end at the Unifying Force, but I kind of want to do more um, than that. Mainly because a lot of the post Jedi or post NJO stuff, rather, I've not done a whole lot of. I've not read all of that stuff yet. I've read only just a very few. I've read the Dark Knight trilogy. I read the first couple of books of Legacy of the Force, but I haven't really read through anything else. So realistically, though, I really need to get Legacy of the Force read because since I've already read the first three books, which the problem is, like, I'm starting more and more to become of the opinion. I enjoy the Legacy comics, but like, I think, I think the post Jedi stuff should have ended at the Unifying Force. And as far as I'm concerned, the Unifying Force is sort of well, really the NJO for me. The NJO for me is like the sequel trilogy. I know it's not a trilogy, it's a series of novels. It's 19 books, but in my view, that is the third act of the Star Wars saga. You have the prequels, you have the originals, and then you have the New Jedi Order. So that's just the way I view things. I mean, to me, the NJO is the sequel trilogy. That is sort of that sequel story post Jedi that we've all, of course, wanted, right? Even though I know it's not a trilogy, but and I've seen people try and say, well, Vector Prime, Star by Star, and the Unifying Force are a trilogy. No, because see the thing is there was four hardback books in the NJO, which in the hardback books that they already put out, those were like the quintessential books. Those were like the books where the biggest stuff happened. I mean, it makes sense. Vector Prime, that's where the war starts. Star by Star, that's like your Empire Strikes Back. Destiny's Way, it's not your Return of the Jedi. See, I guess Destiny's Way is not as essential as the others, but Destiny's Way is the turning point for the war. and then of course the unifying force is the conclusion. But there's a lot of stuff in Destiny's Way that, if you don't read Destiny's Way, then unifying force won't make that much sense. And then of course you have the whole, Zonoma Sakat stuff, which if you don't, if you hadn't read the Force Heretic trilogy, then none of that stuff's going to make sense. And, so it's just like, you just can't do that because each book is essential in understanding further books in the series. So it's one of those things where I see why people do it. They want to say that Vector Prime, Star by Star, and Unifying Force, or that's the sequel trilogy, but it just doesn't work. Not with the NJO, at least. I think maybe, well, no, you just can't do it. Even with the other book series, you just can't because they're it's a book series. It's interconnected. So any comics I have, which are very few, that's good. You agree? Yeah, it's I don't know. So I mean, to me, the NJO is the sequel trilogy, which doesn't make sense because it's not a trilogy, but it is that sequel story after Jedi. Oh yeah, Balance Point. I forgot that too. Well, see, I forgot that because Balance Point is even less essential, I think, than Destiny's Way. I mean, yeah, it's not. See, even then, like the whole hardcover thing doesn't apply because Balance Point, while an essential book in the series, it's not as essential as like Star by Star or Unified Force or whatever Vector Prime. So I forgot that was a Del Rey hardcover, and I forgot that because I don't have a Del Rey hardcover of it. I have the SFBC version of it. So eventually, because I am still missing the Dark Journey, SFBC, Enemy Lines, Traitor, Force Heretic, and Final Prophecy. I still need to get those SFBC hardcovers. I have the rest already, and they look great because I want the whole series in hardcover one day, which would be a dream. It'd be so awesome to have that in whole series in hardcover because I think the series deserves it more than any other books in the in the EU. Like I said, the same thing for you, Alex. Balance Point was one of my favorites, and I kicked myself for years for not getting it initially on hardcover. See, it's one of my. I don't hate it. I like the book. I love all the books of the NJO, but that one didn't connect with me like as some of the others did. In fact, my least favorite books in this series are Dark Tide, Balance Point, Force Heretic 2. That's it. Those were my. They're not bad, but they're not like Agents or Edge of Victory. That was my favorite duology of the series. So because I want to be, because I'm sleep no longer EU team, I'll always be the Star Wars EU team. Always, I will never change, even though I'm no longer a teenager. That's how long my account has existed for, or I guess as long as I've been on here. I started this when I was like 16. It's freaking crazy. Time for Lance to read some real literature. I do read real literature. It's called The New Jedi Order, which is the closest Star Wars has ever been to high literature. I don't care what people say. Fortune 1 through 3 and Destiny's Way were my least like in the series. I was no fan of Yeah, I didn't like Danny Quay or Quay or whatever her name is. I didn't like her either. It's almost like the NJO writers forgot. Um, I think they forgot that Tenno Ka exists. So, and they evidently forgot the relationship they had in Young Jedi Knights. So, well, I don't introduce myself like that at the moment, so I bet that wouldn't happen. And I don't know if I'll still be doing YouTube when I'm Matt's age. Force Heretic trilogy almost. Force Heretic trilogy is not that bad. I have a problem with any of the NGO books. Me neither. I love all of them. It's just that there's some I like more than others. So I remember when me and Alex, when I first finished the series, me and Alex, he's still on my channel. We did a little podcast over it, which is pretty cool. If either of us are, I'll buy you a beer. Hell yeah. I'll make videos, I guess, so this platform doesn't. Hey, nothing wrong with that. For sure, for sure. I think out of all the hard covers, though, I would say Balance Point is probably my least favorite, but Unifying Force, ooh. I don't want to get into it. I don't hate. I think it's a good book. There's just parts of it I think were really, and I've talked about it before. I mean, I guess we've all read it, so but um the actual like the twist ending just so lame. I did not like it. It's not bad. It's not a bad twist ending at all. My problem with it was it had no payoff. It didn't actually feel like it did not feel impactful to the story. It felt like a twist for the sake of having a twist, but the actual twist itself meant nothing for the overall plot. Um, the I am your father twist that completely changed the scope of the trilogy. Um, but when it comes to that, the twist at the end of it was the twist was revealed in the last book. You know, it just didn't. I just didn't see the purpose of it because they end up winning in the end, and it just had no. It didn't feel impactful. Keep forgetting that plots I liked occurred in Force. See, I think Force Heretic 2 is my least favorite book, but I like the trilogy as a whole. The lack of wife and kids. What do you mean you'll have a lack of wife and kids? What? Don't say that. Our process climax is so on. It's a good climax of the series, and it's a good ending. I mean, I don't want to say it's a bad ending. It's a very good ending. It ended exactly the way, for the most part, it needed to end. It just with the twist that they did, I just didn't. I did not care for it. Basically, this is how I saw the twist. The guy you thought was a bad guy really wasn't a bad guy. It was actually this other guy, but the main character kills him anyway, so it doesn't matter. I mean, that's just what it felt like to me. That does that. I hope that makes sense. That's the way I saw the twist. Alex is a player. Yeah, he is. Yeah, you're a book reader. You're a book player. You're not a video game player. You're a book player. Book reader is a better way of putting it, but for the sake of the joke, you are a book player. You play with books. I read Blood Meridian and The Road by Cormac McCarthy. Plan on reading more classic literature on top of all the fantasy and stuff. That's pretty cool. Alex does read a whole lot of books in general. I mean, he likes to read. I mean, that's a good thing. So you need to be reading some damn X-Men comics. That's what you need to be reading. That or Fantastic Four or anything Marvel really. That's what you need to be reading. For all seasons, red and blue. I don't understand. Dustin was still a very bad guy, but the behind the scenes guy was fun. Could have been executed a bit better. Yeah, but I wish that would have something that was like revealed in Destiny's Way. I think would have been a better place to actually. Because I mean, they were like setting up Shimmer the whole time, and then he gets in this duel with Luke, and then he's like put down in just 2 seconds, and then it's Onimi, who's the real bad guy, and then Jason just kills him too. I mean, it just doesn't feel like the twist didn't mean anything. There was no meaning behind it. I think it could have worked if it was like like you said, executed a different way. Went to the evil side, DC. Well, at least you're reading Superman comics. You're not reading like Teen Titans or some shit. You're reading like the beginning of the modern superhero. Missed it everybody Superman comics, which were for all seasons. Oh, well, see, I don't. Yeah, I don't know crap about Superman books, so I got to struggle with the Wheel of Time, which I paid for it, so I had to finish it. You don't like Wheel of Time? I thought everyone liked it. I thought those were classics. I know. Matt loves those books. Do you not like them? I know when I start reading non Star Wars stuff eventually. Um, the 2-book series I'm gonna read is I'll probably read Lord of the Rings. It's Lord of the Rings and Dune. I'll probably read Lord of the Rings first because there's not as many books in the series. There's The Hobbit. Then there's the 3 Lord of the Rings books. I might read the Silmarillion. We'll see how much I really like Lord of the Rings. If I like it, but like I'm not like obsessed with it or whatever, then I won't read the Silmarillion. But if I just love it with every fiber of my being, then yeah, I will. We'll see. And then after that, I'm gonna read Dune. But people say they drag from like 7 to 10. Are you talking about like books 7 to 10? And I'm like not even. I'm not even like loving them now. You're telling me hardcore fans say it's worse. I guess Brandon Sanderson saves the day with books 11 to 13. Which another big name. You talk about him all the time. So yeah, you do need to read his books. I tried reading The Wheel of Time, but I stalled after a 6th 1,000-page book. Having 6 books that are over 1,000 pages is crazy. I can see like the conclusion of the series, or like obviously standalone books being that long, but 6 a series of books that are 1,000 pages each. I don't know. I don't think I'll ever read Wheel of Time if that's the case. Red Malazan, so that's cool. Less is more when it comes to most. Exactly. Like I said, I don't think there's anything wrong with books that are that long, but I mean, if you have like multiple books that are that long, I mean, there has to be like so much extra shit in the book that doesn't really help anything. But I've never read it, so I don't know. Alexander Theory, Continents, Multiple Characters, Peak Fiction. I've never heard of it, but I will maybe check it out. Probably not. Is he unnecessary? Me say multiple times. I don't know. Maybe. I mean, I know for sure I'm gonna. I want to. I'm going to read. I mean, I have the books already. I already own them. Well, my sister owns Dune. I own Lord of the Rings, but eventually I'm gonna read those books. In fact, I might do a podcast with Titus. That'd be cool. I know Titus loves Lord of the Rings, so I mean, might be a little podcast idea. Podcast idea. Yep, that's true. And like I said, I think with like standalone books, it can make sense. Like I know Stephen King's books, a lot of his books are that long. I know it is that well. It is like two books in one. I mean, it's almost like a prequel and a sequel to one another. Because half of the book, half the book is like one half is them when they're kids and the other is when they're adults. So I mean that makes sense. I love Lord of the Rings. Do not so much. Yeah, I've heard some people they're not huge fans of Dune, especially with like Kevin J. Anderson and what's his name, Christopher Herbert. What's his name? I don't remember his name. No, I'm thinking of Christopher Tolkien. Is who I'm thinking of. What's his name? Frank Herbert's son. Brian Herbert. That's who it is. Yeah, I've heard people aren't huge into their parts of the story. Miles Book of Fallen. Children are dying. Well, that's a session summary you can kind of say we needed to. That's kind of interesting. Dune is good till after God Emperor, then your mileage may vary. Yeah, that's what I've heard. I think it depends on a person's philosophical/religious outlook on life. If they are you talking about if they'll like Dune or not, maybe. Well, guys, it is almost 1 o'clock in the morning, so I'm going to go ahead and end the stream. But this is a lot of fun. I need to stream. I want to stream more. Well, I get hesitant to stream because sometimes I'll have streams like this where it's people are interacting and it makes the stream enjoyable for me. But there's other times when I'm just sitting here, it feels like I'm talking to myself. So I mean, I don't know. I need to get like people like Alex. I need to get him on a stream. Same with Brennan. Well, Brennan's just so busy. I don't know if whenever I will, but for sure Alex. But y'all have a good night, guys. Thank you all very much for joining. Y'all have a good one. Night, guys.